we get to play today. This is one of my favorite modules. We are going to be playing with coordination charts. Now, these are arbitrarily made. You can make your own, but I'm going to share them with you so you can start with these and get a sense of how they work. We can use these for anything. I love using them for, yes, speed and coordination, really good for that. But I can also use it to add cognitive load to basic workouts. So it's a really great way to just keep the brain engaged as I'm doing something like weight training, or, I put it into my reformer classes and that's really fun. We're going to do 3 different versions today. We're going to do one just for hand-eye coordination, one for foot-eye coordination, and then we're going to do one that combines the two together. So this can get super fun and challenging. Before I explain how we're going to do this, let me go ahead and pull up these charts. Okay, this is the one for hand-eye coordination. We've got one for foot-eye coordination with the squares, and then we start to combine the feet and hands together with stars and squares together. So the way we're going to set this up is we're going to run a timer for 1 minute and see how many times through the chart I can go. If you are working on coordination and speed, this might be something you want to track and see if you can improve over time. But for the purposes of this course, I am interested in how your brain responds to this level of load, and yes, using it as a fun tool to play with. For the purposes of testing this today, we're going to use some hand slaps as our hand-eye coordination exercise, just gently tapping my hands by my side. Yes? So let's go ahead and pull the chart up and I will walk you through this. So if the star is to the left of the line, I'm going to slap my left thigh. If the star is to the right of the line, my right hand's going to slap my right thigh. If the star is right on the line, both hands slap both thighs. Yes? So we're using the chart kind of like you're reading music, right? But we're dictating our hand movements based on what our eyes are seeing. Yes? So I've got the timer set for 1 minute. We're going to go along left to right, and then go to the next row, and then the next row, and so forth and so on. When you get to the end of the chart, you're going to start back over again. I like to yell out how many times I've been through that. I will not do that during this time period so that you can hear your own voices, but that way I know and can remember a bit better, hey, I got through that chart 3 times, and then when the timer goes off, I can see I got to on that 4th attempt. Yeah. And then you can make a note in your tracker to come back and compare to the next time you do this. All right. All right. Left hand with the left star on the left, right hand with the star on the right, both hands with it on the line. All right. On your marks, get set, go. All right. Make note of how far you got, and then recheck. How does your brain feel about hand-eye coordination? So that was the hand one. We're about to do the foot one with the squares. For the foot one, I like to do single heel raises, right? So if the star is on the left heel raises up. If the star is on the right heel raises up. If the star is on the line, I can come into a double leg heel raise. You could do for the feet, there's a couple of options. You can do similar to the hand slaps. You can do toe taps. We could do left tap, right tap, both. You could also do a heel raise, both, right? The heel raises will obviously be slower. So, just make sure if you are tracking time that you are, using the same movement each time. I personally am going to play with the taps and see how that goes. All right, same game, different shape, different body part, training our foot-eye coordination here. We're going to go left to right, top to bottom. When you get to the end of the sheet, yell 1, 2, 3, right? So you can track how many you've been through. When the timer goes off, make a note of your how many you've done it. All right, here we go. On our marks, get set, go. Okay, note where you left off and mark it down. All right, let's recheck. Let's see what your brain thinks about foot-eye coordination. Make a note in your tracker. 2 more to go. Woo! We're getting tricky now. So now we're going to combine hand and foot coordination. So squares are still foot-eye coordination, stars are hand-eye coordination. You have to decide which is which based on what your eyes are seeing there. Yeah? Same rules, left, right, top, bottom, 1 minute, and then we'll make a note. Okay? Have fun. On your marks, get set, go. Whew! Was that fun? Harder, huh? All right, go ahead and recheck. How did your brain respond to that mashup, huh? Okay, here's our final one. What is this? I know, madness. So now on each line, there is a job for the hands and a job for the feet. Yes, we have to determine based on what we're reading with our eyes, what our hands' job is and what our feet's job is, and coordinate the two. This will be slower. Have fun, giggle, don't cry. You can cry if you want, but in any case, you only have to do it for 1 minute. So here we go. On your marks, get set, go. Well done. Mark it down. How'd you do? This is one of the ones for me. I remember doing in my first Z Health class and crying on and not even getting through, right? Like that last one, I didn't even make it through a single sheet. I think I made it through like 2 rows and that was it. Now as I'm flying through it, this to me tells me how much better my brain is at complexity, and I just want to shout out the focus group, our daily brain boosts. I 100% attribute that work to the improvement I see in this. It works if you work it. So just a shout out for that. If you want more information, let me know. In any case, let's recheck. How did your brain respond to that level of complexity? And then make a note of that. And congratulations, you've made it through your hand-eye, foot-eye coordination training session for the day. I'd like you to decide how you're going to play with this week. Maybe you can throw it into a workout, right? I like the speed piece of it, but just a reminder, right? If I'm doing something simple like a bicep curl, why not add that in, right? I can do bicep curls here. I could do tricep presses. I could do single leg squats if I'm real fancy. Go ahead and get creative with this. See what you come up with. Like I said, I have some reformer work I use these for, which is really fun. Some shoulder presses. Let me know what you come up with. All right. Thank you for playing. Let me know what questions you have, and I will look forward to seeing you later. Bye.